Captain James Reed stood silently as the alien delegation toured the human museum ship. The Asterisk Remembrance Asterisk was humanity's way of carrying its history into the stars, a vessel filled with artifacts from Earth's long and bloody past. Most spacefaring species found it peculiar that humans would preserve instruments of their own destruction, but Reed understood. Those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. The alien visitors, tall beings with iridescent scales and 4 arms, moved with an air of superiority. They called themselves the Vorn, a species that had mastered interstellar travel centuries before humans had even launched their first satellite. Their ambassador, Telk, led the group, his upper arms folded in what Reed recognized as a gesture of dismissal. Your species' fixation on weaponry is most primitive, Telk remarked, mandibles clicking in what the translation software identified as amusement. We outgrew such barbaric fascinations millennia ago. Reed nodded politely. Diplomatic relations with the Vorn Confederation were still new, and human colonies depended on alien trade routes. It wasn't the time to defend humanity's martial history. The tour continued into the firearms section. Glass cases displayed weapons from different eras: flintlocks, revolvers, rifles from various wars. The aliens moved quickly through this section, clearly uninterested, until Telk stopped at the final display. "And what is this ancient device?" he asked, pointing at a weathered shotgun mounted in a simple case. "That's a Remington Model 870, Reed answered. A pump-action shotgun, about 400 years old. It was commonly used for both hunting and home defense." Telk's translator took a moment to process. "Home defense? You mean killing other humans who entered your territory?" "Sometimes," Reed admitted, "though mostly it was used for hunting." The ambassador raised his primary eyebrows. A gesture Reed had learned indicated skepticism. How primitive. Your species was still hunting with projectile weapons while others were already colonizing stars. The other Vorn clicked their mandibles in what the translation software identified as laughter. "May I?" Telk gestured toward the display case. Reed hesitated. "It's a museum piece, but I suppose it would be all right." He entered his authorization code, and the case opened with a soft hiss. Telk lifted the shotgun with his lower arms, clearly struggling with its weight, so heavy and inefficient. He turned it over, inspecting the wooden stock and pump mechanism. No targeting systems, no power source. Just metal and wood? "Yes," Reed said. "It fires metal pellets propelled by a chemical explosion." The Vorn delegation's laughter grew louder. "And this protected you from threats?" Telk asked incredulously. "Our personal shields would easily stop such primitive projectiles." Reed maintained his diplomatic smile. "It served its purpose for the time. I find it difficult to believe your species survived to reach space," Telk said, passing the shotgun back carelessly. "It's remarkable what simple luck can accomplish." As Reed took the weapon, the ship's alarm suddenly blared. The lighting shifted to red, and the voice of Reed's first officer came over the intercom. "Captain, we have an emergency. Pirates have breached the hull on Deck 7. They've deployed some kind of technology-dampening field. Our energy weapons are non-functional." Reed's expression hardened. "Escort our guests to the diplomatic shuttle," he ordered the security team. "Get them to safety." "Captain," Telk said, suddenly concerned, "the Vorn Confederation has been tracking these pirates. They use Centauri dampening technology that renders energy-based weapons useless. Your crew is defenseless." Reed looked down at the old shotgun in his hands. Not entirely. He moved swiftly to a panel on the wall, pressing his palm against it. The wall slid open, revealing a hidden cabinet containing boxes of ammunition. Reed loaded the shotgun with practiced movements. "You can't possibly intend to fight with that relic," Telk said, mandibles quivering. "It's a museum piece." 400 years old, Reed agreed, chambering around with a satisfying pump. It's still perfectly functional. The lights flickered as the ship's power fluctuated. Through the corridor came the sounds of struggle and unfamiliar voices. "Your security team?" Telk asked hopefully. Reed shook his head. "Pirates, stay behind me." 3 figures appeared at the end of the hallway, humanoid shapes wearing advanced combat suits. They raised weapons that hummed with energy, then frowned as the devices sputtered and died in their hands. The dampening field works, one shouted. They're defenseless. Reed stepped forward, the ancient shotgun raised to his shoulder. What's that? One pirate laughed. An antique? Reed squeezed the trigger. The shotgun roared, its sound deafening in the confined space. The lead pirate flew backward, his chest armor shattered. The other pirates stared in shock before scrambling for cover. It's not affected by the dampening field, one shouted. Reed pumped the shotgun again. Another shot, another pirate down. The last pirate turned to flee, but Reed was already advancing. The final blast echoed through the corridor. Silence fell, broken only by the ringing in their ears and the distant alarms. Reed turned to Telk, whose scales had paled to a milky white. Chemical propellant, Reed explained calmly. No electronics to dampen. Sometimes the old ways work best. Within an hour, the ship's security had contained the pirate incursion. The dampening field was disabled and systems returned to normal. As the Vorn delegation prepared to depart, Telk approached Reed one last time. Captain, he said, his tone noticeably more respectful, I believe I owe you an apology. I underestimated both you and your heritage. Reed nodded. A common mistake when meeting humans. There is wisdom in preserving your history, Telk admitted, even the violent parts. Especially those, Reed replied, glancing at the shotgun, now returned to its display case. Peace is valuable precisely because we know the alternative. As the alien shuttle departed, Reed stood watching from the viewport. Humanity might be younger than many galactic species, but they carried something the others had forgotten. The resilience forged through millennia of struggle. Sometimes that was exactly what the universe required.